All right, so I went ahead and made a 3D printed thrust vectoring. You know, I have some concerns about the reduction and the shortness of this thrust tube, of course, and the reduction from 70 millimeters down to this size exhaust is a bit more than you should normally compress the exhaust for efficiency. Now it's going to give me tons of thrust and velocity, but you're going to lose efficiency because as you restrict it too much, it's going to cause a lot of turbulence in there. But there's not much I can do about it because of when you're trying to make the plane to scale, right? So, I mean, this would be pretty much scale exhaust output compared to the airplane. And I'm working with a 70 millimeter EDF, and I needed to move it back quite a ways and not put it way up forward. So the plane would balance basically, because I'm gonna have a battery up there and a lot of tail weight. And I've got lots of room to slide the battery around, but I really didn't want this EDF much further forward. And all the models that I look at online where people have made an F-22, whether it be the 90 or the 70 millimeter, they all pretty much had to put their EDF also pretty close to the exhaust to get the plane to balance right. So that's what I'm shooting for. If it's wrong, I'll change it, but I am going to put an EDF in it after I get these side strakes on and close this off more. And I'm going to put the EDF in here, and I'm going to do some throttling up and with a 4S and a 6S and see what kind of output this thing has. So I think, you know, you'll lose some flight time because of a lack of efficiency, but I think it'll be pretty fast and cool too. So you just gotta balance these things when you're designing a plane like this, because, you know, real life airplane doesn't really match up to what you're trying to do with a model in an EDF and balancing and flight characteristics and enough thrust, etc. You try to design your thrust tube to be efficient, but sometimes in certain models it's just not possible, like this one. There's some other models I can think of that I want to build that are the same thing. I got to put the EDF pretty close to the back to get it to balance right, and it's just what you got to do sometimes. Unless you want to add a bunch of tail weight anyway, you know, put the EDF way out there so you get your efficiency, but then you're adding a bunch of tail weight to get it to balance if you can't get your battery in the right spot, and then you're just weighting the plane down. So I'm trying to balance both of them.